Do you ever get overwhelmed? I know I do. And this morning was one of those mornings where I started to feel overwhelmed. And whenever I feel overwhelmed, I have three things that are very important for me to incorporate. And this morning, I woke up and I had such a sense of overwhelm because Sundays are usually rest days for me. Sundays are usually a day of nothing to do really and wake up as I feel like it. And I had so much planned for today. I was going to work in the garden all day, and then the hubs asked me to help him build a fence, and the things just start piling up. And I know that this week is going to be a busy week for me, and I started to just think of all the things and I got overwhelmed. So I stopped and I incorporated these three things that I'm going to share with you guys. The first thing that you do when you start to feel overwhelmed is grab your phone or grab a piece of paper and make a list. Make a list of all the things that are on your to do list for that day. Anything that's requiring your attention. So, for instance, for me, that was making a list of I've got to work in the garden, I've got to make juice for the hubs, I've got to help him build a fence, I've got to rest, I've got to do laundry, and the list goes on. And so for you, make your list. Make your list of the things that are pending on your brain because they're taking up real estate in your brain. Put them on paper, write it in your phone, and get it out of your head. Because once I find that when I put it in my phone, in my notes section, if you have a smartphone, you have a notes section in your phone. Put everything in the notes. I have hundreds of notes in my phone. Some need to be deleted, but I digress. So get the things out of your head. And you'll find that once you write everything down and you see it in your phone or you see it on a piece of paper, it releases it out of your head. That's the first thing I do. All right, second thing I do is I decide which of those things are negotiable. What on my list can be set aside for another time? In other words, what can I unload off of my brain? And for instance, for me today, that was, you know what, Lisa? You don't have to work in the garden today. You can do it tomorrow. You can do things as you need to do them, and working in the garden is while it's important and it is somewhat time sensitive because I'm trying to get things in the ground as early as possible in the spring so that things mature before it gets really, really hot here in Florida. But one day is not going to make a difference. So I took gardening off of my list. I also went and talked to my husband and I said, hey, I know you asked me to help you with this fence, but I need a rest day today. So if it's okay with you, can we postpone doing the fence or can we just see how I feel a little later in the day? I went and talked to him. And maybe there's something on your list that is incorporating somebody else. Go to that person. Tell them what your needs are. Tell them you're feeling overwhelmed and you need to take a step back. So that is number two. Decide what is negotiable. All right. And then the third step is to pace yourself. So once you figure out the things that are not negotiable, for instance, making my husband juice is not negotiable because if I don't make my husband juice, then he doesn't have the energy and feel the well being that he needs to be successful throughout the day. And yes, he could make his own juice, but we have an agreement that I make juice for him. He does certain things for me. One of the things that I do for him is make him his juice. So for me and for him, that is a non-negotiable. So I once I find the things that are non-negotiable, then I prioritize those things on the list that I have already made, right? And so the whole gist of that is that your list goes from here to here. And that's one of the things that can help eliminate overwhelm. And then you pace yourself. So once you have eliminated the negotiables, you can take the things that are non negotiable and pace yourself and do the things as you are ready. All right. So now I've paced myself throughout the day. For instance, I have an online course at 3 o'clock. That is not negotiable. At least for me, it is not negotiable. I could put it on my negotiable list and catch the recording, but I decided that that would not be one of the things that's going to overwhelm me. So it's on my non negotiables. All right, so I'm pacing myself throughout the day to get everything done with the idea that now I've decreased the amount of overwhelm that I feel. All right, so those are my 3 tips, and hopefully that has helped you in some way. You can feel free to comment below. Let me know if this has helped you, or let me know what things you do to eliminate overwhelm. All right, until the next video.